Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 11 of What If Naruto Was Betrayed by Hagoromo. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Blamed and It Changed Him guys over on Anime King. Link will be at the top of the description for you guys to enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, and you enjoy the videos on the Anime King family, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and join the Anime King channel guys. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, 3 months has passed since the mission to the Weave, as Haku was now another guest inside Naruto's house. As Mito had tried her very best to get Haku out of the slum that she was in, because when she first came it was really hard, as she missed Sabuza-sama, as she was not used to just being here by herself, as she saw that she had no will to go on. But Haku had always had Mito with her, and not to mention Naruto told her that she can be his slave. As he didn't really care when he said it, but Haku took the word to heart as she started to call him Naruto-sama. So in that 3 months they went on other missions after missions. Team 7 became the top genuine team as they never failed a single mission, and they even got more C ranks and even a B rank when they were guarding a princess, as Sarutobi saw how quick their team was advancing. So when the Chunin exams rolled around, he knew that Kakashi would want to volunteer them. Kakashi has also picked up his pace as well, as his eye no longer consumed as much chakra as it would have, as he was now training and learning different things, as he was able to turn it on and off like how Chia would do, and it was rather impressive, as they still had no idea how Naruto was able to do that or what's up with the staff. The only thing they knew was no one else could lift it besides Naruto, and Naruto could also let it float. So as they were making their way through the village, as they had to go and talk to Kakashi, as he wanted to talk to him about something, as Jiraiya was currently in the office with Sarutobi, as Jiraiya was waiting till after the first part of the test to speak to the kids. As Sarutobi told him to take caution with Naruto, Naruto is quite different from everyone else, as he wouldn't take things so lightly. He might get through to Mito quite quickly. She was nice and trusting, and she would seem to forgive him, but Naruto was a different case entirely. The group met up with the Sand group. As Naruto came there, Gaara had came down. Something happened as Shikaku felt it, that power. He knew that power, but it wasn't father. Gaara suddenly attacked Naruto and sent him sailing through a fence as Mito and Sasuke leapt into action. Naruto got pissed as this guy just came in the village and attacked him. As he picked up his staff, Naruto went through Gaara's son like it was nothing as he reared back his hand. Gaara nearly lost his head, but Kakashi came there and placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder, a firm grip stopping him. As he calmed him down, as Naruto played it off like nothing happened. As they weren't the only team though, Kumo's team was also come to the village, as the Raikage was going to show, well, the dignitaries and the daimyos, that Kumo was amongst one of the strongest village. Yujito, who shouldn't be a genin, was taking part in genin exams to become a chunin. So yeah guys, so basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So what do you say we begin this new episode? We begin this episode at Training Ground 11, where we find Yujito. Yujito was trying to stand up in the training ground, as she was in Konoha. As long as they weren't doing anything too suspicious, they weren't being watched or followed. She was sent here by the agreement that she must do her best on the exams. She was held back from being promoted because they wanted to show her off here. Despite being a genin, she was only a genin in rank, because she was far past that. Not to mention when she tapped into the power of Nibi, as she stood there, She wasn't really friends with Karu or Amoy. The only people that she went on missions with was Samui. Those two were just kids, so she didn't really have anyone to talk to that much. And Samui had went off to sign them all in. Tomorrow was the student exams, as they had already gone to the hotel and set down their things. She decided just to check out the village. Not being from this village, she didn't know, well, the sights or the place to go. But she ended up wandering around this training field. She knew that it wouldn't be wise to do any practice or training here for any Konoha ninjas to see her, as she was currently on a training post, just waiting. Well, she didn't know what for. It's quite boring here. Why don't you head to the hotel? Go and do something fun. Or go see if there's any hot guys around here. As Yujito sighed, hearing her tenant inside of her. And what exactly do you expect me to do in an unknown shinobi village? You know, I'm not a member, right? Things would be really bad if I end up calling the wrong presence. Not to mention, me being a Jinjulke, things could be extra bad. But it's so boring, said Nibi. Yujito sighed. She didn't know why the Nibi act that way. She was always trying to mess with her head, trying to make her uncomfortable in situations. But that wasn't what Nibi was doing. Yujito only focused on training her entire life, and Nibi had noticed that. Ever since that she was seen inside of her, the only thing that she was focusing on was training and to get stronger. She wasn't raised like Killer B. It was quite different for her case. She was a weapon to become stronger and gain more strength. Well, she wasn't hated, but it was different on her. You can tell. But it was all she focused on. In fact, she's never actually been on a date before. Never. Before she was sealed, the Nibi usually take a human form and make her way around the elemental nations and took in the human traditions, and they were quite fun. So for this girl not to enjoy her life, it seems like a big waste. The Nibi was snapped out of her thoughts. Someone's coming, she said. I know, said Yujito, as she stood there. She thought that she was going to be alone here. As she saw him, it was a boy. Red hair, blue eyes. As he made his way, he wasn't looking or focused on her at all. He just simply made his way. As he walked by her without even paying her a single attention, she narrowed her eyes. That was quite strange. Given that she was a foreign shinobi, she thought that he would at least pay her a glance or something, but nothing. He just passed her like she wasn't even there. What the hell? What's wrong? Asked Yujito. Oh, it's nothing, said the Nibi as she went quiet. Huh? It's nothing? What was that outburst? It's nothing, kitten. Why? Are you thinking about that hot guy that just went by? As Yujito sighed, you and your stupid antics. And besides, he's too young. Well, he has a nice body, said Nibi. Yujito simply shook her head, while Nibi went quiet. She didn't know if this was correct, or her mind and her senses were fooling her, but it couldn't be. She felt a power that she hasn't felt in so long in that boy. It was similar to their father, to the one that created them, and the power that their father had made them feel from that strange box. The power that resided deep within it. But how is that possible? He was supposed to be sealed away. The Nibi and the others had lost track of that box after centuries as it went by. No, it can't be. Hey kitten, why don't you follow him and see what he's up to? Why? Come on, it's boring here. And this would be a good test of your tracking skills and your stealth skills. Nibi smiled to herself as she knew that that would get Yujito to track him. Fine. It will be a game. Try not to get caught by the boy. As Yujito nodded, and with that she shot off deeper into the forest, jumping from tree branch to tree branch, she made her way. As she watched him with a keen eye, he simply made his way, paying her no mind. Well, she was sure that he didn't sense her. After all, she was great at completely reducing her chakra to the levels of not being sensed, even though she was a Jinjulke. As she hopped from tree branch to tree branch, as the Nibi was going crazy, the power. There was no mistaking it, it was him. But how was this possible? As she watched as the boy stopped in a clearing, as he reached out his hand, suddenly, something flew towards him from a distance as he caught it right in his palm. It was a staff. As he twirled it and swung it, Yujito watched in amazement as a burst of air expelled from the staff that sliced 4 trees around him in half. He smiled, he twirled around several more times, as the trees around him came falling down. Before he stamped the staff into the ground as he placed his hand on the earth. As he took in a deep breath, Yujito watched as the ground started to shake. As she watched as the ground started to break away and compress into sand. As she watches a huge pool of sand rise up. What the hell? Meanwhile, with Naruto, as Naruto was currently placing his hand on the ground until the sand rise up. It all happened yesterday when he met that Gara kid. He felt this strange connection to the sand, and now, after focusing, he was also able to do it. He didn't know exactly what this meant. Well, a lot of things about him was quite a mystery that people don't seem to understand. Not to mention, as he pointed his hand towards a nearby tree, something flew from his hand and spat onto the tree. The tree then froze over as it was ice. He also had the ability to use Haku's ability. He didn't know how he was gaining this ability, as he wondered if he had some kind of Keiki Genkai that he could use to copy others' ability. Perhaps that is the way he got the Byakugan as well. Well, he was around Sasuke for some time now. Why hasn't he got the Sharingan? He held out his hand as he wondered if the silver chakra was the cause of it, as he stopped what he was doing. It seems like something was going to happen in the Chunin exams. After all, it was rather strange. Two villages sending two-tailed beasts towards a village at the same time. At the moment, Naruto knew that he was being watched, as he could feel her reactions from where he was. He could feel her surprise and her turmoil. He snapped his head towards a branch. Yujito did not move a single muscle. Hey, it's wrong to spy on people, you know that. He didn't hear anything for a few seconds, until she jumped down. She did not show it, but she was surprised that he was able to sense her. I'm sorry, she said. She knew that if she ran, this might turn to a whole situation, thinking that she was spying on him and bringing the Kage in this. So that is why she didn't run. I did not mean to spy on you. I just saw you pass by. And I was near the training ground. I don't have a proper explanation. I just followed you, she said. And why is that, Naruto asked? Did you want to check out the competition? Yes, I'll be participating in Chunin exams, he said to her. As Naruto closed his eyes, you know, it's rather surprising for you to be here. Why is that, she asked, given that you're far past the genuine level? She blinked. How did he... What are you talking about? Well, I can just look at you and also feel your chakra circulating through your system. She blinked in confusion. How is that possible, she said. Well, secret and all, he said to her. But you are not a genin. After all, Naruto twirled as he threw the staff towards her. Yujito twisted her body just in time as it fly right past her face and embedded into a tree. As Naruto smiled, a genin, would you be able to block that? What if that had killed me, she asked. That would have just shown how weak your village was. You just attacked me and disrespect my village on top of it. You're rather arrogant. Or do you think of yourself that strong? Arrogant people don't make it too far in this life, you know that. Yes, I know. But I'm not arrogant. After all, Naruto raised his hand and his staff came flowing back to him as he caught it. When you have the power, you can back it up. Not to mention you do have as well. After all, there's not many people that can defeat Ajin Julike. She froze. Yes, I know you're one. So, out of the competitors in this exam, you have an edge over them, having that amount of power sealed away inside of you. As Naruto's eyes then bulged, as she saw veins came inside his head. Hyuga? Given by the flow of your chakra, it seems like you have full control over your Biju inside of you. I can see its chakra flowing calmly inside of yours. I guess the exams are going to be rather entertaining, he says he starts to walk past her. By the way, what's your name, he asks. It's polite to tell someone your name first before asking. Oh, the name is Naruto Uzumaki. Now you. My name is Yujito, she said. That's all, Naruto said. Yes, that's all, she said. Well then, Yujito, I guess I'll see you within the exams. She said nothing, as Naruto simply walked away. Nibe, how did he know? Asked Yujito. Even with his eyes, he shouldn't be able to tell like that. Am I wrong? This boy seems different. Don't put your mind on it though. Probably just one of those purges. Just focus on the exam tomorrow. You're acting rather strange. What do you mean? Said Nibe. Well, you always gone off about these perverted comments whenever I talk to a guy. But now you're... well... Oh, so you want me to make perverted comments? Asked Nibe. No, of course not. It's just... As Nibe started to laugh, but she was hiding her, surprise. She felt it fully and clear. It was him. But how was this possible? Her father never told her how to deal with this matter if he was ever to return. And he had told them that if Naruto or Sasuke ever returned back to this earth, it would be doomed. Time skip. The next day, the three of them were at the compound. Gates. I wish you all the luck. Mito-san, Sasuke-san. Naruto-sama, said Haku. We won't need it, said Sasuke. This exam is gonna be a walk in the park. Don't be too arrogant, said Mito. What about him, said Sasuke. He's always arrogant. Well, she know I can back it up because I'm not weak, said Naruto. What? Said Sasuke. I didn't say that, said Mito. None of us should be arrogant. We don't know what we're going to be facing. Well, I'm sure you all can handle it, said Haku. As she gave them all a smile. Whenever the time comes for the spectators to just be there, I'll make sure to be there and cheer you all on, she said. As Mito smiled at her. And with that, the group made their way off. So, what do you think the exam's going to be like? Asked Mito as she walked with them. Well, I'm sure there will be a tournament in some point. And I'm sure there are going to be a written exam, said Naruto. Perhaps at the first point. And how do you know that, said Sasuke? Well, maybe it's because I'm just smarter than you, said Naruto. As Sasuke's eyebrow twitched. Before he narrowed his eye. Are you sure they're going to allow you to take that thing with you? What, my staff? Well, it's an extension of my body. So of course. And it's a weapon. Yes, but it's unknown. Won't they ask you what exactly it is? Well, if they have any questions. Naruto snapped his finger as a staff dissolved and flew towards his palm, and it was gone. Mito blinked. What just happened, she asked. Something I figured out, said Naruto, as he snapped his finger again as the staff flew out of his palm in particles and reformed. I can distribute the molecules all around. Break them apart like that, as the staff separated once again and flew around his body. It was like light dust, before it compact into a small ball. But it's pretty much useless, said Sasuke. Naruto simply smirked as he pulled his arm back and threw it. The thing digged through the earth with one throw. As Mito looked down, rushing over to the hole, where did it go? It burst to the other side behind them and landed right near the palm. Pretty fast, he said. Before it floated and landed right around his neck. Like a necklace, a black necklace right around his neck. As he moved the other necklace that he had on above it, the one that said best big brother in the world that he got from Mito so long. As she smiled, seeing that she was still wearing hers. So with that, they made their way. They knew that they were supposed to go to the third level, so they were surprised they saw all kind of people gathered at the second floor. Sasuke blinked as he felt the chakra trying to invade his body, but he shrugged it off with a pulse. It's just like genjutsu, he said, as Mito turned towards the door. They're tricking them. Let's go, no, said Naruto, as the both of them turned towards him. If these people are too weak and idiotic to find out that this is a genjutsu, let them stay. They don't deserve to take the exam, as he started to walk off. He's right, said Sasuke. Let's go. Mito sighed. She started to follow behind them, until someone was sent sailing as he stopped right in front of Naruto's path. Please, let us through, the boy said, as he was wearing a green spandex, and he had rather large eyebrows, with a bowl cut hairstyle, as he got to his feet. The boy looked up at Naruto, before tilting his head as he saw someone behind Naruto. You, he said, as he quickly got to his feet. You are Sasuke Uchiha, are you not? Yeah, and what of it? I heard about you, being the top of your class. I would like to test myself against you. My name is Rock Lee. I want to see pure hard work versus your genius prodigy status. Sasuke looked at him. So you want to fight me, huh? He said. Yes, I would like that. But before that, he then turned towards Mito. You. What's your name? My name is Mito Uzumaki, she said. Well, let me introduce myself properly. I am Rock Lee, Genin of Konoha, soon to be Chunin, he said. Will you be my girlfriend? As Mito looked at him. Sorry, but I don't know you, she said. It does not matter. We can get time to know each other, said Lee, as he stepped forward. What's going on, Lee, said Tenten as she came over. Well, I am just asking the beautiful, lovely Mito-san to become my girlfriend. What? Said Tenten, as she turned towards Mito, as she gave her an apologetic look. Hey, you. Naruto tilted his head, as a boy was standing there looking at him. I heard about you. You, with those imitation eyes of yours. You are not worthy to be a Hyuga. Who the hell are you? Said Naruto. That is of no matter right now. You have brought disgrace and shame to the clan, walking around with those eyes, like you own them. My eyes? Said Naruto. Oh, you're a Hyuga. Oh, so you're jealous of my eyes as well. Don't beat yourself up about it, said Naruto. Even if you train your entire life, and my eyes just arrive and they're better than yours, it's just how the thing works. Guess you can blame the world for it, but I don't know if the world's gonna answer you, said Naruto. Let's go. Sasuke clicked his teeth, with Naruto ordering him around like he was a leader. Although he was training him, he always had this superiority leader complex to him. Sasuke smirked, as he knew what will really annoy Naruto. Hey you there, Lee. Come here for a moment. Wait, said Neji as he placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. As Naruto turned and looked at him. I wasn't done speaking with you yet. Look, I don't know you, and you don't know me. So I'll give you the courtesy of removing your hands in 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Neji did not remove his hand. As Naruto sighed, it happened so quickly, not even his eyes could get enough time to activate to see what was coming. As Naruto slapped him across the face, removing his hand from him. Don't go and touch people without their authority. Remember that next time, said Naruto as he started to walk off. Neji held on to his jaw, surprise on his face, as it soon turned to anger as he stepped forward. Neji, what are you doing? Remember, you're the one that said we're not supposed to show our skills so we can scout out the others. As he stopped looking at Tenten, as Naruto had already walked off, and Mito and Sasuke as well. Neji growled, as that boy just got away with slapping him like that. The group made their way as they were going through a training era for the children in the school, where they do practice fighting. Naruto Uzumaki said a voice. As Naruto stopped, what the hell is it now? I have heard from your peers that you, despite not showing it, are the best. And I want to test that for myself. Lee flipped off the post as he landed, as he dropped right on his feet. As Naruto turned towards Sasuke, who had a rather arrogant smirk on his face. Come on, Mito. Let's watch this from the sideline, shall we? What did you do? Asked Mito. Just something to piss him off. Look, Lee, said Naruto. I really don't want to fight you. Can you just go away? I'm sorry, but I must insist that you fight me. Just for me to show that I am the best in taijutsu. So you think you're the best, huh? Said Naruto. Yes, said Lee. As Naruto smirked. Well, why didn't you say so? I love proving people wrong. As Lee went into a fighting stance. So, are you ready? As ready as I'll ever be, said Naruto. Lee shot forward. Sasuke was surprised. He never knew that Lee was this fast. He thought that it was just an annoying kid. As Lee raised his feet in a quick procession, Mito sighed as she knew what was going to happen. Lee was also shocked when Naruto grabbed his feet without any hesitation. It wasn't any drawback or any force that pushed Naruto back. He just held on to Lee, suspended in mid-air. Lee twisted his other leg around and brought it towards Naruto's head as Naruto raised his hand and blocked it. No force again was delivered. Lee was confused. This boy was either incredibly strong or so dense to the point where its hits are not even making it through. Lee pushed off as he flipped and landed. As he cranked up his speed and shot forward once again, lashing with a brutal punch. As Naruto slapped his hand down to the ground, Lee raised the other fist, but just in time for a foot to meet it, as Naruto kicked it to the side. Lee was now wide open. As Naruto poked him in the forehead, Lee felt something shot through his body as he cried out in pain before dropping to his knees. As his entire body pulsed unnaturally, he didn't understand what was going on. I guess I overdid it with that electricity, said Naruto, as Lee cried out in pain. As Mito rushed over. Brother, what did you do? She asked. Don't worry, I'll fix it, said Naruto. As he raised his hand and touched Lee on the shoulder, Lee felt the electricity that was coursing through him just pulled out of his body. As he gasped out, finally getting some air after screaming for so long. Lee was confused. What did you do to me? He asked. Just a bit of electricity. Thought your chakra system would fully fight it off. Just caused you a bit of pain. You can't use chakra. So that's why you focus on taijutsu, said Naruto. Well, I guess that was your fault. Next time, don't go and challenge someone you know nothing about. As Naruto simply walked off. In the corner, someone was watching them. It was none other than my guy. As he had saw the fight, and how quickly this boy had subdued Lee like it was nothing. As Kakashi had spoke about him after they had saw Kakashi's eyes, Guy was intrigued even more. As when they were gone, he quickly jumped down. As Lee wasn't bad for wear. The lightning was completely gone. Not even a shred of it left. How was he able to completely take away the lightning with one touch? Guy was even more confused. Lee was fine to continue on with the exam. So with that, the group made their way. As Kakashi was at the door waiting for them. As he gave them an eye smile, both eyes. Kakashi, what are you doing here? Said Naruto. Kakashi sighed. How much mission have we been on so far? A lot, said Naruto. Why? Haven't I proven myself enough to show you that I'm a sensei after all? How much missions have you guys gotten hurt on? How much missions did the enemy took a hold of the situation? I guess none, said Naruto. So why? Aren't you calling me Kakashi sensei? You lost to Zabuza at first. Kakashi blinked. That was a long time ago. And I still won the end. I helped you, said Naruto. What? You just got Haku out of the way. You did not help. That's what you say, that's what I say. So Kakashi sensei, what are you doing here? Said Mito. Well, I just wanted to wish you all luck. I'm glad to see the three of you here. Seeing that if one of you had stayed behind, none of you could have taken the exam. And why didn't you tell us that? Said Sasuke. Well, I didn't want any of you to force anyone into it. Well, we all wouldn't do that, and we're all ready, said Mito. As Kakashi's eyes smiled, I know you three are, he said. Now, go and make me proud. All of you, do your very best. Did you bet on this? Naruto asked. Kakashi blinked. What do you mean? You usually tell me to go easy on kids, but now you're telling me to do my best. Did you bet that we will go through this quick or something? I have no idea what you're talking about. Alright then. Guys, we're gonna take our slowest time to go through whatever they give us. We're gonna wait until we're the last person. No. Fine. There was a bet. Just do your best, Kakashi said. Are you gonna cut us in? Naruto asked. Kakashi eye twitched. How about I take you three out for a big meal once everything is over? As Naruto looked towards Sasuke, who nodded, Mito nodded as well. Fine, said Naruto. As they all went inside, Kakashi shook his head and sighed. As the moment they stepped inside, every attention was turned towards them. A wave of killing intent was sent their way. Sasuke scoffed. The killing intent that he felt from Zabuza was much more potent than this. This was nothing. But Naruto had to make a show as he stepped forward. All of you are pathetic, he said, as all eyes turned towards him. You think that a little bit of killing intent can scare me, he said. As all of them focused even more, making the room became thick with tension and also fluctuation of chakra. Still pathetic, said Naruto. Let me show you real killing intent. As Naruto let it loose, A slip of his power. It was rushed and overwhelming. Many of the Genins quickly backed away. Some of them though stood as they started to sweat. One person in particular couldn't believe the amount of power he was feeling from a mere boy. It was none other than Kabuto, as he was a spy for his lord after all. And to feel this kind of power, this was something his master would enjoy to relish in. As Naruto let it cut, see what I mean? Pathetic, as he turned back towards his team. Mito-sai, did you have to go and draw all attention on us already? Sasuke just cracked his knuckles. It's better this way, for we to show them what position we're in and what they're in. Naruto placed a hand on Mito's shoulder. Stop doubting yourself. You have grown over the past months and become stronger than I could ever even imagine. Trust me, it's all in your mind. Once you put your mind towards it, they won't be able to lay a single finger on you. I mean, how far have you advanced with your chains? Do you really believe in me that much? He asks. Of course I do, said Naruto. Not just as your brother, but as a shinobi. You have improved greatly, and I'm sure you will make it through as well. She smiled. Thanks, big brother, she said. No problem, he said, as he ruffled her hair. She pouted. Stop doing that, she said, as she fixed back her hair. Naruto then heard squealing as Sakura made her way inside, along with her two teammates, Ami and that other guy. He doesn't really even know his name. Only reason he knows that girl named Ami is because she came around to pick up his sister on a girl's day out. Sasuke-kanji said she rushed over. Sasuke sighed. Why is she here? He wondered to himself. As the remaining group started to make their way in. So you guys are here as well, said Kiba, as his eyes then noticed Naruto, as they became sharp, but he did not say anything. Man, what a drag, said Shikamaru's Isai. So you're in this as well, huh? As Naruto looked towards him. Yeah, and? Well, if you're here, this is gonna be more troublesome than I thought. I'm sure that you have gotten even more stronger over the past months, haven't you? You can say that, said Naruto. As Shikamaru sighed. Well, if I'm fighting you, just expect me to give up. Well, easy win for me, isn't it, said Naruto. Hello, Mito, said Hinata, as Hinata came over and greeted Mito. Naruto didn't know why, but he hated seeing her. It's not her, but her eyes. Despite having the Byakugan for himself, he hated everything to do with the Byakugan. He didn't like it. He didn't know why he didn't like it. That was just confusing, because every time he saw it, or he got mention of it, this rage just suddenly built up inside him that he didn't understand. Even someone as Hayashi, who's been nice to him, according to the Byakugan, when they spoke, he hated man's eyes. He didn't hate the people, but their eyes just seemed... He couldn't explain to himself. He simply shrugged it off. As Kabuto then made his way over. You know, you guys should really settle down. After all, after that sudden outburst, he said, looking towards Naruto, people are really starting to focus on you. And who the hell are you? Said Naruto. Oh, sorry about that. My name is Kabuto Yokoshi. Nice to meet you, he said. What do you want? Said Naruto. Well, you guys are new, right? Yeah, said Kiba, as he tried to butt in as well, trying to pretend like Naruto wasn't even there, like Kabuto was speaking to him. But Naruto didn't even pay him the slightest mind, as he simply turned his head before he walked off, making Kabuto grunt. As Kabuto started talking to the team, and decided to help them out with a bit of information, while Naruto made his way over, as Karu and Amoy were leaning up against the wall. As Amoy was sucking on a sucker, Yujito was also there as well, as she had noticed a redhead come in, but she had not paid him any real attention, until she saw him. He was coming directly towards her. So you're here, he said, as Karu and Amoy turned their head as well. Yes, but you already know that, said Yujito. Just making speculation, said Naruto. It's surprising though. Your teammates are kids. I wonder, what's the deal with that? Huh? What's going on, said Karu. This doesn't concern you, said Naruto. Her eye twitched. What? You're talking to my teammate, of course this concerns me. As Naruto turned towards her. Look, just be quiet. Her eye twitched even more. Amoy sighed. This guy was just calling for trouble, as he doesn't even know who he's speaking to. Look, guy, as she said, she stepped in front of Yujito. Talking to my teammate. Being from an unknown village, of course this will involve me. So, you're to be the one to get the hell out of here, not me. Well, if you want to put it that way, you're in my village, said Naruto. So you should get the hell out of here, said Naruto. Is that what you came over here for, asked Yujito. To argue? No. But your bitch-ass teammate is getting away, said Naruto. What? Karu says. She lunged forward, only for Amoy to grab onto her. Don't do anything stupid, he said, as he tried to restrain her. Remember, we're not in our village. As she tried her best to calm herself. Seems your guard is talking you down. That would make you a puppy, he said. As her eyes bulged even more, as she tried to make her way towards Naruto. You know, pissing them off is only gonna make you a target for whatever the true exam entail. Well, I love to be the center of attention. It's always suit me, said Naruto. He tried to get her teammate on a leash. She looked like she's about to snap, as he started to walk off. As Amoy tried his best to calm her down. Karu, Amoy is right. We're in their village. Don't do anything stupid. You can get him when the exam begins. Karu took a deep breath. You just watch. I'm gonna get that bastard, she said, as her eyes focused sharply on him. At that moment, Naruto was making his way back over. He saw 3 ninjas. Their headband had a musical note on it. Rushed towards the guy that... What was his name again? Naruto wondered to himself. Oh yeah. Kabuto. Kabuto was a leaf ninja, so Naruto called him. Hey, watch your head. Kabuto ducked as a gauntlet went over his head, as he spun around just in time. So you believe the Hinasan is weak, do you? Said the one wrapped up in bandages. As the other one came to his side. We'll show you weak. Mito jumped right beside Kabuto. I don't know what you guys are doing, but you better stop it, she said. I won't allow you to harm a fellow leaf shinobi, so you're getting our way as well, said Kin as she smiled. As Dosu looked over. Well, 2 is better than 1. As Dosu raised his arm, but it was grabbed. Dosu blinked as he was confused. He never felt anyone sneak up on him. I wonder what does this gauntlet do? Your arm is already in pressure. So, if I were to squeeze, said Naruto, as he started to apply pressure, Dosu swung around his other arm. As Naruto tilted back his head, but Dosu smirked. As he waited, and waited, and waited. Zaku blinked as he didn't understand. Why wasn't this kid on the ground, holding his ears in pain? Throughout all of this, Neji was watching as well, as his Byakugan was activated as he saw it. There was a strange pulse of chakra. Was that even chakra? Covering Naruto's ears. As Neji had wondered and wanted to know more about this redhead. Yes, there was a strange pulse covering his ears. He could see the ear waves coming from that gauntlet in the boy's arms. So that was the boy was expecting, for Naruto to drop on the ground in pain after disrupting the airways. But it did not work. What the hell? Your petty little tricks don't work on me, said Naruto. And I suggest you refrain from who you're attacking. After all, you're in the Hina Leaf right now. Do you really think that you can just attack one of us and get away? Especially my sister. I will tear this arm off. So next time you raise your hand, watch what you're doing. As Naruto released the hand and started to walk forward, Dosu though, taking an embarrassing stride, raised his arm towards Naruto. Suddenly the room was filled with poof. Alright all of you, my name is Ibiki, and I'll be your first proctor of the test. Now, get to your seats. And so, they all did, as they were assigned seats. It was then that Ibiki went over the tests and about the scoring system. It didn't take too long though, for Sasuke to realize what was going on, as he activated his Sharingan and started to mimic the man in front of his movements. As Naruto saw the same thing, but it was quite easy for him as he activated his Byakugan, and he could see right on their papers. And he looked over at Mito. Mito was smart, she didn't need his help, After all, she was the top kunoichi of the class. The test didn't take that long, as pressure was applied when Ibiki then told them, "If you're all ready for the 10th question, you should know. There's a chance of you dropping out right now and taking the exam in 6 months." Huh? Why would you do that? A Jenny from the sand asks. Because if you fail the 10th question, you will never be able to become Chonins ever. What? That's impossible, said Kiba. This guy over here said that he's taking the Chunin exam 7 times. Well, I wasn't the proctor then. And my exam, my rules. As many people started to get nervous and started to leave. Mito knew that she did well on the test, but she started to feel rather nervous. As she looked over, Naruto simply gave her a smile. That smile just reassured everything for her. As Naruto saw the face of the Sand Genin team, well, not the one with the blonde hair and the red head, and not the guy in the black bodysuit, another Sand team, as he was starting to get nervous as well. They were rather stupid. How could Konoha stop them from becoming Chonins? They were not from this village. Idiotic. The time clicked by as many teams started to fall out, and fall out and fall out. As Naruto saw, Sakura team fall out as well. It appears that they didn't trust their skills. He didn't really care about that though, but the rest of the Genin stayed behind. Until Ibiki looked at the time. Well, no one else is giving up, he said. Alright then. You all pass. What? Many of them shouted in dismay. As he started to explain to them. It didn't take too long for a banner to burst right through the window and was pinned up by kunais. As read, the super sexy Uncle Midarashi proctor for second exam. Many of the guys in the class eyes focused on what she was wearing, as it was rather revealing. Even Sasuke was a bit surprised by her, well, type of dressing. While Naruto, eyes were focused on her alone. He was the one that indeed stole Kakashi's books, and after reading them, he learned a lot of things. And she looked like one of the characters described that was wearing in the book. Alright you maggot, she said, as she gave them all a smile. Ibiki, I thought you would have put out more already. Not my fault they want to die, he said. As many of the kids in the class shocked her at that, the way he said it so flippantly. Well, now it's time for the second part of the exams. I hope you're all ready, because we're going to the forest of death. Many of them took a big gulp at the name. Now all of you, please make your way to training room 44. And if one of our passengers are not there, you will be disqualified. With that, she jumped back to the window. Ibiki sighed as she just break the window and was gone. Well, it's not like she was the one or he was the one that was repairing it. He simply shrugged as he made his way out. That was a problem for the cleanup group. Time skip. As they all made their way there, as Uncle was at the front of the group. Alright, she said, now that you're all here, this is a forest of death. It seems that the forest wanted to encourage her statement as shutters and rustling could be heard from the bushes, like creatures wailing inside. As many of these kids outside gulped in fear, Naruto simply snorted as Uncle heard it. She pulled out a kunai and she threw it. Well, she was not expecting when she flashed away and appeared behind him, a kunai right to her stomach. You know, you shouldn't just go around throwing your weapon like that. That's rather stupid. I mean, look at the situation that you're in. You're fast, Uncle said as she pressed herself against him, as her tongue slid her out of her mouth. And arrogant, I can see that. The arrogant ones are the first to die. Why do people keep on saying that I'm arrogant, said Naruto. You know, it's not arrogance. It's just when you know you can, why not show it? I like that, Uncle said. You have a good spirit, kid. I wonder though, is it all for show, or can you really do something with it? You know, the way you're talking, it reminds me of a book that I read. Oh, and what's that? Well, when the girl asked the guy if it's all for show, or if he can really use it, as Naruto then turned his head, as he motioned for Uncle to come closer, she did, as he whispered something to her. With this statement, her face became a bit red. Oh, so you're different from the other kids, are you? As Naruto gave her a small smile. Well, in places that it counts. Well, you have the way with your words. But I wonder, can you truly back it up? It's only a matter of time before we tell, said Naruto. Well, I'll be sure to keep an eye on you, she said, as she made her way back to the front. As she turned back and gave him a small wink, as he just looked at her. As Uncle couldn't believe what he just whispered in her ear. Who had given that kid that book? Alright everyone, she said, getting your attention. What was that? Asked Mito. Oh, nothing, said Naruto. You're lying, she said. I'm not, he said. Why do you always think that I'm lying? Because I know you are. I could tell you what he said Sasuke. As Mito turned towards him, as Naruto noticed Sasuke had his Sharingan activated. You read my lips. Well, you didn't cover your mouth. You just whispered. Tell Mito, and I'll kill you, said Naruto. Sasuke blinked. As if he said. Oh, you think I'm joking, said Naruto. Tell me what, said Mito. You're too young, said Naruto. What? You're not much older than me. Just by a couple of minutes. Be quiet, said Naruto. It's about to start. She pouted as she turned her head. As Sasuke simply glared at him for the killing comment. As Naruto simply gave him a soft smile. As Sasuke scoffed and turned his head. Always threatening him. As he didn't pay it any more mind though. But one person here as well. As her face was red. As it was Yujito as she was standing there. Because of her, connection to Nibi. Her senses had been heightened from a long time ago. And her hearing was, on point. And sending chocolate to her ear, she was interested to hear what he had to say. As her face was a bit red now. Hey, Yujito, you okay? Asked Amoy. Yes, I'm fine, she said. As she turned her head. Meanwhile, inside the seal, I wonder, does he not remember who he is? The Nibi thought to herself. As she really wanted to know what was going on with him. If he was really Naruto Osusuke, he wouldn't be playing along with his kids. He would be, from the description that their father gave them, ending the world right now, causing pure havoc and mayhem. So that's why the Nibi was confused as hell. But she decided just make sure. Hey, kitten, why don't you keep a close eye on that one? Huh? Why? Well, they seem rather interesting. After all, him using that staff like that, and also using sand. You have read upon the histories. Have you ever heard of a ninja that was able to produce sand other than a few people in the past, and all of them were from the hidden sand? Are you saying he stole it or something? But how? Said Yujito. Well, that's the interesting part for you to find out. And why would he tell me his secrets? I don't know. Maybe flirt with him. Flirt with him? Oh, you don't know how to, do you? Of course I know how to flirt, said Yujito. Well, how do you do it? No need to be ashamed, kitten. You never really focus on these things while growing up. Well, I'll teach you. How would you possibly know how to flirt? Let's just say I've done it before, said Nibi, as she smiled inside the seal. Meanwhile, Uncle Finch gave out the description, as they made their way and signed the forms, as Naruto was the one to get the scroll, as he got the Heaven Scroll, so all they knew was the Earth Scroll, as the other teams went and got their scroll. And in 5 minutes they were all at their starting point. Uncle, wait for time to click down. Alright? Begin, she said as the gate started to rise up, and with that they made their way inside the Forest of Death. Time skip, 10 minutes later. So what now? Oh, now you want my advice and my leadership, said Naruto. As Sasuke glared at him. You've been in here multiple times. That's what you told us, haven't you? So why the hell you're acting so arrogant with the information? Perhaps I'll tell you. If you call me Naruto-sama. As Sasuke blinked. Never, he said. Well then, I guess you're on your own. Come on, brother, stop messing with him, said Mito. As she looked around. I don't even know the full workings of this forest. What you do. You've been in here a lot of times, haven't you? Training, right? Well, you can say that, said Naruto. As she smiled. Well then, where's the first place we're supposed to go? Well, the first thing we're supposed to do is to get that scroll, said Naruto. Seeing that we have the heaven, all we need is the Earth Scroll. As Naruto activated his Byakugan and looked around. As he started to scan, there's a rain team not too far ahead. They're setting up traps. Cute, said Naruto, as he watched them starting to hide. Oh, perfect. They have an Earth Scroll, he said. Time to go. So with that, they took off. Meanwhile, The three rain ninjas as they were wearing black bodysuits, with the breathers over their mouth, as they were currently crouched down in their hiding spot. Many leaves and shrubs were covering them, as it was a hollowed out place which they had created, as two umbrellas at the front. But these umbrellas are not normal. They were weapons. They waited. All alone around here with this scroll. If only I hadn't wandered away from my team, said a voice. One of them blinked in confusion. No, a person cannot be this stupid. Boss, look there. As the leader of the group turned his head, as they saw the black-haired boy with a scroll in his palm walking around, as he had a rather irritated skull in his face. All alone, as I said, with my scroll. As he turned towards his side and glared. Screw you, he muttered the words. As they didn't catch that part. He's alone. And he has a heaven scroll. This can be a trap, the last one said. But I don't sense anyone else around. This would be rather easy to just take it from him. Well, you two. Capture him immediately. Yes, boss. As the both of them leaped forward, burst out of the bushes, grabbing onto the umbrella and spinning it. Senbons were sent sailing towards Sasuke, taking him in his arms and legs to subdue him. Sasuke simply scoffed as he went through one-handed hand sign and spewed out a massive flame. As the area was cleared, chains then lashed out from underground and wrapped around their feet before throwing them off into the bushes as they slammed into trees. Sasuke pulled a kunai and threw it forward. The boss had to leap away from his position as he landed in a tree. So it was a trap. Hey, you two, get up immediately, he said, as the other two pulled themselves out of the rubble. But it doesn't matter. We will be taking that scroll of yours. As he heard something behind him, you're quite stupid jumping away like that without even checking your surroundings. I mean, what kind of boss are you, said Naruto. The man turned his hand lashing out towards Naruto's face, but Naruto simply grabbed his hand. And slow as well. But you don't have to worry, it's all over. What? He turned back his head to see one of his friends wrapped up in chain unconscious, and the other one with burn marks unconscious as well. As Naruto simply chopped him in the back of the neck, as Naruto grabbed onto his pouch, and it ripped off of him as he fell down to the ground. Naruto went through it and threw it aside, pulling out the scroll. And that's it, he said. If we were to go to the tower now, I suppose that would be the fastest time in history. You believe so? Said Mito. Well then, let's do it. Come on, Sasuke, she said. As they all started off from tree branch to tree branch, making their way. Naruto felt something off about the area, as he turned his head just in time. But he was expecting this wide burst. A massive gust slammed into the area with tremendous force, blowing everything away. Trees, barks, everything was sent scattering around. As the three of them were sent sailing towards different directions. Naruto blinked as he hadn't fell unconscious. As he got to his feet. What the hell? The moment he steadied himself though, the earth broke underneath him. All he saw was a throat, as he was swallowed by a large snake before the snake shoot off in the forest with him. Meanwhile, Mito said Sasuke, as her head was in a daze. What happened? We were hit, Sasuke said as he got to his feet and looked around, as he then heard chuckling. Good, you're still on your feet. Sasuke and Mito looked up. It's a grass kunoichi, said Mito, as Mito felt a shiver run down her spine. What's this feeling? Sasuke, is this? She noticed Sasuke was frozen. Sasuke, she said. She shook him. He shook his head. What's going on? I don't know, he said. Impressive. You three are able to withstand my killer intent like this. Mito felt her body shake once again. This is killer intent? It seems you three have went through a lot to build up your resistance like this. Mito felt the shake happen once again, but Sasuke placed that on her shoulder. He's trying to confuse us and subdue us. Focus. Mito nodded as she focused her chakra through her body to push it outward so she wouldn't be falling under this foe's killing intent. Well, I suppose that's enough of that. What do you say we get to the real fun, huh? Meanwhile, the giant snake was making its way as fast as possible before it stopped. As suddenly, the snake started to shake and screamed in pain before it was split right down to the middle. As Naruto stepped out of the thing, as his body poofed away, as he wiped the disgusting slime off his face. I hate snakes, he said to himself. As he then turned, as he was surprised that it poofed away. Does that mean? Naruto fused chakra into his legs as he shot off the ground with tremendous speed, making his way back. The snake had sent him a far distance, but he was going to enhance his speed to get there as quickly as possible. As he dashed from tree branch to tree branch, he felt a surge of chakra, something, and he then heard an explosion as he saw smoke rising up in the air as he shot forward even more. Meanwhile, Sasuke Mito cried out as Sasuke was trying to claw the man off him as the man had wrapped around his body and sinking his fang into his neck. Mito shot her chains forward, pulling herself up onto the branch. As she launched them, the man simply smirked as he went through one-handed handstand and slammed his hand on the ground. A wall barrier rose from the ground, but Mito's chains tear right through it, forced him to back away, but the process was already complete. The wall collapsed down to show Sasuke writhing in pain and agony on the ground as he held on to his neck, but the pain was too much as he passed out. What did you do to him? Said Mito. Oh, I just gave him a... Orochimaru paused as he saw the world going upside and down. He was confused. The world had suddenly turned upside and down. What was going on? But it wasn't the world, it was his head that was now separated from his neck. But guys, be any steps right here. If you want to support this or not to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on notifications when posted. But I'm over now, see you guys soon, peace.